Do you ever feel like everyone successful that you've ever heard of has actually bought rental properties and got passive income that pays for their lifestyle and gives them financial freedom and lets them spend a lot of time with their wife and family? Well, that's exactly what drove our guest, Jason Marks, into real estate investing. And he was going to go for rentals, but then he found out that there's this thing called wholesaling real estate once he got into it, and he built an entire business wholesaling real estate, and we're going to find out why. But I'll give you a hint. His first deal, he made $22,000 without putting any money up to actually buy this property. And he's going on to do $500,000 per year. So if you guys are tuning in for the first time to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast, we help you learn from people who've replaced their W-2 income by wholesaling real estate, which is a way to earn big checks from finding discounted real estate and passing it off to an investor who has money. And it gets you your skills up so you can learn how to find these great deals. And once you make this money, you can buy rental properties eventually too if you want. We're going to give you guys 3 weekly episodes. My co-host is here, Ryan Haywood, whose sales job and his commissions were cut in 2019, so he quit. And since his wife, Megan, was pregnant, he actually needed to make some money real quick. So he found out about wholesaling on social media. He took a 14-day challenge, made $8,500, and he and his wife, Meg, have done 419 deals since 2019. So Ryan, hats off to you, sir. And I'm David Lecko. I created a process for finding off-market deals that's helped people close 10,000 deals in all 50 states. So if you want financial freedom, we're giving you the plan to get there.
The DealMachine REI Podcast. Everything you need to know to get started in real estate investing.
Jason, it's amazing to have you on the show, especially after we just got to hang out a couple weeks ago in Indianapolis. How you doing?
Yes. Oh, man, I'm phenomenal. A couple weeks ago was a wonderful, very impactful time. So thank you for that. And thank you guys so much for having me.
You're welcome. Tell us, how did you make that $22,000 that got you started?
So when I first found wholesaling, I had a real estate mentor. I still have him. When I told him about wholesaling, he told me that his audio and video guy was in wholesaling. I had lunch with him. He was working on a deal at the time. Told me to get my feet wet. He would send me out to go negotiate and meet with the sellers. I was more than happy to do so. I locked the property up for him that day. We got under contract for $100,000. We sold it to a trucking company. It was 20 acres. So sold it to a trucking company for them to store their trailers. And we made 154, split it. So 22 for me, 22 for him. And it was oh my God, this works, right away.
So 54,000 was the total spread between what you had it under contract for and what this trucking company was going to buy it for. And your mentor, he was doing the marketing, and when the lead came in, he sent you out to go talk with the seller?
Correct, yeah. So, and my mentor's audio video guy, he was dabbling in wholesaling. Okay. So he put us in touch. He had this deal when we went out to lunch. I went out the next day. I love talking to people, so it was fun for me, and found out without any sales training, just kind of organically heard her issues, talked to him, locked it up. He went on Facebook Marketplace, found our buyer, and it was all history.
Do you recall how this guy actually came about? How did he find this deal? Did he send direct mail? Or?
Yeah, no, it was very simple. It was tax delinquent lists.
Okay.
Tax delinquent lists.
Paid their taxes.
Yep. Every county you can reach out to, they'll give you whoever's behind a whole list for free. Back then, it was printed letters, and we would mail merge, and then we would handwrite the envelopes, so it looked very, it was actually somebody, not a company.
Mail merge just means instead of sending the same letter to everyone, it's like an Excel file feature that lets you input personal information to each letter that goes out, right?
Yep. The text.
Put their name. So the name was
correct, because the tax delinquent list is going to come in on an Excel spreadsheet. Then you merge Outlook or Microsoft Word and Excel, and those data fields will auto-populate for you. So this is even before AI. You can do this right now.
Yeah.
So it made it simple. So everyone's personalized name would be on that printed letter.
Got it.
Yep.
So yeah, every county should publish this information, right? So you could just Google search whatever your county name is and tax delinquent list.
Yep. And then you can email the tax people because it'll give you their email addresses. You just email them and say, can I get a current list of your tax delinquent properties? Simple. And they will respond with this Excel form.
Yeah. It could be weird if you haven't done this before, but just wanted to give everyone permission to do this. You have every right to get that info. It's there. So that's really great example. And so he send, okay, so he must have sent mail if he did the mail merge, right? So that he put the list, gave it to like a printer, and they printed off all these.
So he would give it to his daughters.
Okay.
His daughters would go through. He did have one virtual assistant to scrub these lists. If any of the listeners do want to try this, when we give our info at the end, if you reach out, I would be more than happy to help you navigate this process. But yeah, you want to kind of take off the properties that are going to be no good. There's going to be a lot of properties on there that, you can't do anything with. So having somebody scrub them so that just the good ones are on there, he would give that sheet to his daughters. His daughters would love to just, neatly handwrite these envelopes, send them out, and then you just wait for the phone to ring.
Jason, I'm curious, whenever you went into this appointment with no sales training, how did you discover this seller's problems?
I guess there's three, I say kids, these were 60-year-old siblings, but there were the three siblings of the deceased. I met with one of them. And I'm not going to lie, she made it very easy for me. Every conversation I have in life, regardless of what it is who are you? How are you? Because if you care about people, they'll speak. And we were just having a conversation. She let me know the issue. She let me know what they wanted. I brought it back to my guy. He was more than happy with it. So, I think she did a lot of the legwork for me.
And their issues were obviously they had somebody that passed away and they no longer wanted to keep paying for the property, or they had no need for it, right?
Yeah. It was a commercial property. And it used to have a gas station on it. So me being brand new, all this was new to me. But there was an old tank under the ground, so they deemed some of the ground hazardous. And my guy, having experience, he knew that we can purchase this, get some soil tests done, kind of resolve the issues, and then be able to sell it. So me being so naive, I wouldn't have known to bring that up. So we just told her that we can buy it and be done with it. He showed me the process on the other end.
Got it.
But yeah.
So like it was an old gas station. It had a tank underground. And because of this issue, you guys were able to ask for a lower price and the seller be understanding of that, right?
Correct. And then the $100,000 we were offering was going to do for them and their family a big deal. So
do you remember how your partner or your friend decided that $100,000 was the right price to offer for this property?
I don't want to lie. I don't.
But he gave you that as a mentor. That was like an advantage of working with him, right? He was able to tell you, like, we need it for this price.
Well, and I got to see somebody make a decision that he knew it was a deal because it was 20 acres, not knowing how it was going to get dispoed from the beginning. And
Dispo means sold, how that's like a fancy word.
To get it sold, yeah.
Selling it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
But a lot of people, I do feel, the paralysis by analysis, right? Like they think that they need to have everything settled before they take action. I watched this guy take action, get it under contract before he knew how he would get it sold. And then as long as you know your numbers and you know it's a good deal, act, because you will find the money and the solution will come. So I just got to see that firsthand too, which probably helped a little bit as well.
That analysis paralysis thing, it doesn't matter how often. I get that now. I mean, we do handfuls of deals, but sometimes I'll get a deal that I'm just like, oh, let me run the numbers on this. And my acquisitions guys are like, hey, Ryan, we kind of need to get back. And I'm like, man, I'm running and I realize then I'm being my own bottleneck because I'm trying to overanalyze the deal. In reality, you run the formula, and then you go and make your offer. And if you're uncomfortable with it, then go lower than what your formula is telling you to go, because you don't want to get stuck sitting there waiting on your own brain to feel comfortable. There's sometimes you're never going to feel comfortable because it's an uncomfortable process at times to make an offer on a house and then to turn around and try to know exactly where things are going to land. You're not going to know. That's the fact. But taking that action helps you get rid of that analysis paralysis stuff. It's true. It's just like, if there was a prescription on how do I get over this, it's just do it. Just go and make your offer. It'll eventually, you'll get thicker skin to that and you'll get over that. But it is a hurdle. And I know that I'm not the only one that struggles with that. Even as many deals as we've done, we still get those symptoms.
No, yeah. And then two sides of that would be, to this day, if you bring me a deal, I can see it from this 360 bird's eye view, and I can tell you all the options. Me as the operator, I'll get a deal, and I'm a deer in headlights. It was the opposite. But the other side of that is something that I learned. Hopefully some of your listeners are aware of and know who Max Maxwell is. Max Maxwell explained something one time that resonated the best with me. Was, like, I wear Michael Jordan sneakers, right? So I can buy this pair of sneakers that I have on here in Charlotte, in Indianapolis, or in Missouri. And I know exactly how much they will be. I know the numbers of these sneakers. So if I own 3 pairs, but somebody has a legit pair for $50, I don't care how many I have, I'm going to buy them because I know that it's a good deal. So it's the same. If you know your numbers and you just know something is a good deal, don't worry about it up front, how you're going to sell it. Just get it under contract because you know it's a good deal. And then it 100% of the time, it shows, the solution will show itself. Just don't feel like you need to have it all down. Like, yeah, sure.
Yep, I agree.
So, Jason, when you did this first deal, what did you do next?
So, we were interested in wholesaling, which is how this connection came about. So once this happened, and it happened relatively quick, we knew that this, not that we were worrying that this was a scam, but we knew that this was legit. And we're genuinely helping out people. So the feeling is there. There's a chunk of money to be made. And we also know how the process worked with these tax delinquent stuff. So my wife and I, we just started it on the side, same exact process. On the weekends, we were trying to get 50 letters out. We were working a few nights a week when we had time because it was fun with my wife and I, like something else for us to do together and make some more money. And then we kind of got started and been there ever since.
Hey guys, if you know you want to quit your job in the next 3 months, make sure you're subscribed to this podcast because we've got some incredible frameworks with step-by-step instruction that you're not going to want to miss. Also, leave us a rating and review to let us know your favorite parts and why you want to get financial freedom. So I heard before you got into real estate investing, you were working as a server at a restaurant. Mm-hmm. You actually had a customer that came in with an Aston Martin.
Yes, Bill Lafferday. He's proven to be one of the most important people that I've ever met. He sought me out. I did not seek him out. He always would tell me that I had it. I didn't really know what it was. And my problem was just that I was all over the place. So he took me under his wing and he was like, if we can take all this energy and focus it, what he called the vortex, if we can just keep you focused on something, you'd be unstoppable. So he taught me about goals, literally handwriting my goals down. And I was sick and tired of being a server, right? I knew that I was meant for something. I just didn't know what. And it sounds crazy, but the power of writing my goals down and giving myself a date when I would be out of this world, I found what became my career in logistics.
Paint us a picture for what was your worst day as a server? What were the worst parts about that made you hate it so much?
My worst day as a server was, this sounds terrible probably, but it was all of the regulars, just the kind of the stupid one-liners that you hear 100 times, maybe a week. that because we're so close, they don't have to treat you like people anymore. And it was good for the money at the time, right? I started as a cook, so I was making whatever it was, $7 an hour. And so my $350 paycheck a week, all of a sudden servers and bartenders are making that in a night. So it worked for a while, but once I hit about 30, then it was like, okay, I'm supposed to be a businessman. We're supposed to figure this out. It's about the time he came in. He came in a little bit earlier, but I just wasn't focused on the right things. And once I got focused, the world started to show itself to me. And my first opportunity, I was able to see very clearly. And, with his help, jumped in and started this logistics company. And we had...
What's a logistics company?
So we run a freight brokerage. So we're pretty much a middleman between, super big chemical manufacturers, auto parts manufacturers. We negotiate prices for truckloads. They sell us their truckloads. We essentially will hire the trucking companies that will take the actual loads, and we make the money in the middle.
So you don't own any trucks, but you find people that want to move stuff, and you also have a list of people that will move stuff for you, and you sell them the deal, and you make a fee in the middle. It's very similar to wholesaling real estate, is what it sounds like, but for trucking.
Yeah, and
so you had that experience before you found wholesaling real estate.
And so here's the crazy part, right? So in the freight world, I'm a middleman. Yeah. In wholesaling, we're middlemen, essentially, too. So we had this dream forever to own rental property. Everyone that I've ever seen or known that was very wealthy owned real estate. So non-negotiable, we will own real estate in our day. Maybe 5 or so years into this logistics company, now we're making like real money, like really, really real money. And we're ready to start investing. So we're not going to just buy rentals on the MLS. We're business people. We do deals. How can we source our own deals? And in my research of how to source our own rentals, the shiny sun of wholesaling shows itself. And what we call monkey brain, totally forgot what we were in it for and just wanted to go start a wholesale company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's had its ups and downs. We've reorganized a little bit, gotten a little bit smarter. So now we're doing both. Now we can source our own rental properties, but we can also support the team that I built on the active income of wholesaling and flips as well.
So you got it. I know that you actually had a complicated business model in the wholesaling side, and you made it more simple. What did you do that made it more simple?
So I like to say that we got back down to the basics. What happened with us is, we made a lot of money doing this on the side, like doing it on the weekends and at night. We were making really good money. And the more relationships I built, the more resources I had at my disposal. And we got overloaded with, people who can do our marketing for us, and then how many deals people were doing and how much revenue they were doing. You really can get caught in the whirlwind of comparing, like, I forget what the exact term is, but like comparison is the
thief of happiness.
Thief of happiness, like, yeah. And
Yes.
one of those things that you can say it or you can feel it. So I started to feel it when I realized if I had 100% of my time to devote to the wholesale company, we can raise it as high as we ever want. But I have a full-fledged other company to run. So it wasn't as easy to, and we did it anyway, right? We love the pain, I guess. So, Mr. I can do anything found out he can't do everything, especially on his own. So we, instead of trying to build this massive machine, how about we get back to the basics of let's use this active income to buy rentals, and anything that comes across our desk that we don't want to hold, we can just wholesale and or flip that. That turned out to be a way happier life than trying to put myself up against anyone else in the industry. You know, we're all different. We come from different places. We have different lives. So, you know, for us, it's not about being the biggest. It's about doing what fits for our lifestyle. And we could not be happier now.
I'm a huge fan of that too. People ask me if I want to start these other businesses, and I've said no because I just want one business to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
I have a second business technically when I do my own lead generation, you know, plus I have DealMachine, the marketing tool for investors.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay with me because they're so similar, and I can have a story from one help other people using using DealMachine with the others.
And one thing that sorry, Ryan, just really quick. It's one thing I have to give you kudos on, David, right? Watching your success grow. What I noticed the most about you is all the stuff that you do outside of your business, right? Because another big thing for me is if you also not just say, but understand the point that life is short. So there's a ton of people that just don't live life to the fullest. You're somebody who's taking your success and you're living your life.
You know what, though? Some people can't live life to the fullest because they're stuck. You know what? Like, I've had this realization literally this week. Actually, yesterday, I was sitting there thinking about what my life was like when I was in the 9-to-5 and versus what my life is like now. Why this thought came across, I have no idea. But I was just sitting there thinking, man, 4 years ago, I was working for somebody else. It sucked. I made okay money, but I was so like, I couldn't do what I want when I want. It was like go and spend all my time at some other place for some other people in exchange for my life. Like you're literally giving hours and hours and hours of your life, which is you only get so much of it anyway. And now like having the freedom and the flexibility to go and do what I want when I want to do it and control my life. That's the whole point of like what we're talking about on this podcast is trying to help you get out of that prison cell of a 9-to-5 job because it can happen. But also like Jason, how you were talking, like live life to your fullest, do other things. Don't just set yourself up to basically position yourself into another 9-to-5 job where you're doing everything and then you're again in a position where you're never living. Like use that to set yourself up for the future so you have income coming in. Like that transition of, okay, I'm wholesaling. You're going to make a lot of money in wholesaling. Go and do something with it so that it will bring you money without you having to be in the 9-to-5 again.
Yeah, a great term for anybody. I hope that we reach at least one person who's not done a deal yet, who does a deal after watching this, and this resonates. What got you here won't get you there, right? So just like you were saying, Ryan, in the beginning, it is your job to have no life. You know, It could happen in 6 months. I'd plan for 2 years, but that's the grit and the hustle. That's what's going to get you here. But what gets you there, what you're talking about, build your foundation, but then build your team and understanding the right team to build based off of the lifestyle you want, not based off of what anyone else is doing, based off the lifestyle you want. That gets you the freedom. And it doesn't take as much as you might think. We always hear million. If I didn't have trucking and we were only doing 500K here, I can live my life exactly how I want forever. Trust me. We just, the same way some people get stuck and we're not, I see what some people have done and just the monstrous accomplishments of what's possible is what drives me, you know? Like I want a $25 million compound at the beach somewhere cool. Nothing to do with posting it on Instagram, nothing to do with anything else, but other people have done it. So why couldn't we?
Yeah, why can't I? If he can do it, I can do it.
Right. And there is a hustle season. And thank you for mentioning that. I've definitely spent the last couple of years making sure that I'm enjoying my life and doing things that my business allows me to do, because that was the whole point.
Yep. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful, everyone.
Well, unfortunately, that's the end of our time. And I did want to mention, because you offered to explain any details about wholesaling to those listening, that the best place for them to reach out to you is actually Jason Marks, NC. So Jason Marks, Marks, NC is in North Carolina. And really appreciate that graciousness, Jason. And for those listeners, if you're wanting to do this, I would recommend checking out episode 66, which is how Ryan, my co-host, made $8,500 in 14 days. And he breaks that down. And that will get you started into your hustling season. So then you can get into the hiring others and enjoying more of life season. And with that, we will see you guys on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.